Peace fam, it's ThePreshaCooka and I'm back with another video, another review, an unbiased review of something that I watched today, which is TashaK's interview with Treasure, which is, which was Blac Chyna's best friend. Now, I'm going to break it down in a couple different ways. Now, I will say this, TashaK, kudos to you, bitch, in my Tierra Marie waist, because I do think she did a very good job with this interview. And one of the problems you guys have known, I've covered other interviews that she's done, is that I feel like sometimes she lacks empathy, and you know, the way she asks certain questions, she doesn't have the sensitivity. And I felt like she was really trying that in this one. So much so that people were like, TashaK is chill in this video. She looks bored. I don't think she was bored. I think TashaK was practicing her attending behaviors in therapy. Attending behaviors is your ability to convey that you're listening through your body language, through your eye contact. So I think she was doing good with that. I think that the way she asks questions, now TashaK, this is where I think she will do better. She will do well, is because she was able to ask the messy questions and get good info because of the way I think she asked the question, and she did a better job this time. It didn't feel disrespectful. Sometimes I feel like she asks questions in a very disrespectful and cold way, and so does Wendy Williams, but that's another story. And so good job, TashaK. You know, I will always give props where props are due. Now let's get into this interview. This interview was lit, okay? I actually remember seeing Treasure. I watched probably like the first maybe 3 episodes of Chyna's show on the Zeus network. And after that, I couldn't do it no more. And I remember Treasure. Treasure feels like the exact person she was on that show. I feel like Treasure is actually a consistent person. I don't think Treasure was a leech. I saw a lot of people in the comments saying a lot of things. And I'm like, you know what? I actually think this woman was a real friend. You know, people have the right to tell their story. And the reason why I believe Treasure here is because Treasure never actually dragged Blac Chyna. If you guys listen and actually turn off your bias, you will see that Treasure never dragged Blac Chyna. I guarantee that if Treasure wants to, she could really go in on Blac Chyna about some deep and dirty things. She was simply sharing her story and what she observed. And it felt real and it felt genuine. And I actually think Treasure is a victim of narcissistic abuse. And I'm going to break that down about why I think that. So overall, I felt like it was good. I think she was being honest. She talked about a couple things. She talked about, TashaK complimented her on how good she looked for having 3 kids. And she said, oh, I got my tiger's eye or whatever. And that's a crystal. And I was dying laughing because the stuff she was talking about in here, I'm like, girl, you better get you, in addition to your tiger's eye, you better get some black tourmaline, some onyx, and some amethyst. Because not only are you going to have Blac Chyna on your back, but, the Kardashians were talked about a bit. And I just feel like they're a very dark family. I try not to even talk about them in my commentary because I just find them so obnoxious and draining. So anyway, I hope Treasure is okay after this because, I just feel like there's a lot of forces at work, but that's all I'm going to say, and I'm going to keep it moving. So anyway, Treasure talked about, like, what I noticed the most was her sharing her experience being Blac Chyna's friend. It just felt like she was doing so much and giving so much, and it was never appreciated or respected. And in the end, Blac Chyna played her. Not only did she cheat her out of money, but she completely betrayed her and disrespected her. And like I said, people are saying she's a traitor and a snitch, and I'm thinking, like, this woman did not drag Chyna. This woman shared her story. We need to give people the right to share their story. If you don't want to listen, then we don't have to listen to it. So she talked about how Blac Chyna, started her relationship with Tiger. And then she's talked about how, Tiger eventually left her for a 15-year-old Kylie Jenner. So gross, so disgusting. Ew, like, we knew there was stuff going down, but I just hearing it again, it was just very disturbing. And then, she went on to be in a relationship with Rob Kardashian. She talked about the way she moved in that relationship. But she also talked about a lot about behind the scenes things, about Chyna basically kind of brewing her own tea. She's one of those people, the blogs aren't talking about her. She's going to brew her own tea, and then she's going to submit that tea so that it could be plastered, right? It was very interesting to hear the stuff that Treasure was saying, and because I can totally see that happen. I can totally see that happening. So now she even talked a little bit about Tokyo Toni and, you know, how she viewed her. And she even mentioned that she felt like Tokyo Toni, she didn't say the word toxic, but kind of like the idea I got. But she definitely said Tokyo Toni was entitled. She felt like Blac Chyna needed to do things for her, certain things for her, right? Like almost to the extreme. And that was part of why I stopped watching the show. Because not only did I see that Tokyo Toni was very entitled, she was extremely abusive, extremely toxic, so much so that it like feels like it's affecting me. Like there's certain people, guys, I can't watch for too long, or I can't watch at all, because their energy is just so fucked up. It just feels like it's seeping through my energy through the screen. And that might sound weird, but you know, the other empaths, y'all gonna know what I'm talking about. Okay, you guys feel it. So anyway, she made a lot of good points. Like I said, I don't want to spill all the tea because, you know, if you want, you can check it out for yourself. But these are things that I've noticed and observed about Tokyo Toni. I know she had an interview recently with TashaK. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it because I know how disgusting Tokyo Toni gets, and I just can't I can't deal with it. So let's break down a little bit about why I said that the emotional empath versus a narcissist. Now, I believe that Blac Chyna was raised by a narcissistic mother. I also think that there's other things there. I think there's some psychotic features there with Tokyo Toni. It's not just narcissism, honey. You know, maybe even a little demonic possession, but I digress. But, you know, I think Blac Chyna had it rough growing up with her mom. Like, I can't even imagine the abuse that this woman has suffered at the hands of her mother, because look at what her mother's willing to say and do in public. So you know it was straight from the gates of hell growing up in that woman's house. Like, there's no way. Nobody can convince me otherwise. As a result, I think that Blac Chyna has developed and taken on some of those characteristics as her mother. She's learned about how to interact with the world and to get the things that she wants via her mother. So I think a lot of the things that we see in some of that toxic energy and behavior, I do believe that Chyna engaged in that. And I think I also think that Treasure is an empath. I really do. I was looking at her and listening to like remembering what I had seen from the show. And I'm like, I think Treasure's an empath. And you have people in the chat talking about you signed up for this, you did this, and they were just going in on her. And I'm thinking, like, people don't understand. When you're an empath, you're extremely sensitive, you're extremely caring, and we have to watch out for people the most who are actually energy vampires or narcissists, because for whatever reason, they're very attracted to us. They're very attracted to us because we have the opposite energy from them, and they like to feed off of that energy. Okay? Also, having somebody like that in your camp validates you and makes you and humanizes you. So just imagine having somebody like Treasure around. Not only is she able to use her emotionally, but then it makes Blac Chyna appear to be more of a human being. That's my theory. So I think that, you know, if you listen to the examples Treasure gave, she talked about, like, she's the type of person that will find something negative to say just to tear you down. It's that control cycle. It's that cycle of, I'm going to pretend to build you up just enough to keep you hanging around me. But they sure are very good at tearing you down, and make no mistake, that will come. And so I do think that's a big part of this relationship, is that Treasure was stuck in this narcissistic abuse with Chyna. I have no doubt that she was doing that because we saw the way her mom behaved. And I do think Chyna has some of those behaviors. She just does a better job at hiding it in public. But I think behind closed doors, she's a force to be reckoned with. That being said, I don't think that Treasure is a pushover, because she even talked about that herself. She's not a pushover, right? So it's very interesting. I'm going to read you guys a little bit of a snippet from a book called The Empath Survival Guide. And this is from the chapter that says Protecting Yourself from Narcissists and Other Energy Vampires. Now, this is for empaths, and I want you guys to hear this, right? So it says, narcissists act as if the world revolves around them. They have an inflated sense of importance and entitlement. They need to be the center of attention and require endless praise. You must compliment them to get their approval. They can also be extremely intuitive, but they use their intuition to manipulate and achieve their goals. So I'm going to stop right there. That's part of what can get empaths like effed up, because we are intuitive, right? But the thing with a narcissist is they're using that to manipulate other people. There's a difference. They can do much damage to empaths because they have little or no capacity for unconditional love. Catch that. If you don't do things their way, or if you disagree with them, they become ice cold and punishing, withhold love, or give you the silent treatment, which can last for days or weeks. I don't know if that's going to hit somebody in their spirit, but if it does, you should really think about that relationship, whatever that relationship is. And I really think this is what Treasure was experiencing with Blac Chyna. And I think this is why we saw that. I really hope that Treasure does continue her business ventures. I hope that she blows up. She talked about a lot of positive things, doing yoga. But I think she said she was opening a spa. She has a lot of things coming up. And sometimes the only way to flourish is to get completely the fuck away from people like that, because they will hold you back, not just in your energy, but also in your physical life. And so I'm happy for her. I hope that she flourishes. I think this was an excellent interview. Like I said, TashaK, good job. I really say that because I find like there's just sometimes it lacks the type of empathy I'm looking for, but she really did a good job, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button so you can get more videos like this. And if you like this video, please give your girl a thumbs up because the video goes further. If you don't like it, go ahead and hit the dislike button too, because guess what? The video will still go further. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a good week. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.